Stuntmen don't get paid enough money, man. I tell you, those guys that work, they're the toughest guys. They work so hard, they get paid nothing. It's a really bad job.
We have a question over here.
What is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you?
Now I can't hear again.
What is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you?
Oh, wow. Oh. On television?
Yeah, that's a loaded question.
Okay, the most embarrassing thing I'll tell you the truth. I relive this. I'm okay. It's my close group of friends. I'm going to tell you. They recruited me to play basketball in high school because they thought for some reason that it was good. I wasn't good. I had never even played basketball, but I was sitting there and the team was playing basketball, and I just threw a couple three-pointers. They went in, and the coach goes, "Oh, do that again," and I did it just 2 more times. I just got lucky. We need you on the team. Puts me on the team. Convinces me that I've got a gift to play basketball. I then sit on the bench for the next 5 games. I don't do anything. Now I'm pretty jaded and cynical, and I'm just sitting on the bench. And all of a sudden I hear this, "Flanigan!" I was like, yeah, get out there. And I jump out there. I steal the ball. Boom, 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 boom. Whoosh. Layup. It's the most beautiful thing. I'm turning around to get the glory, and everybody's just looking at me. This is a wrong basket. It's like, God. I quit. That was pretty embarrassing. There's just no way to wiggle or crawl away from that situation. So, there you go. Hello.
Hello again. Coming to a lot of these things, you have to deal with a lot of fans. But working in the industry, what is the coolest thing you've had happen? Like the neatest person you've met or your biggest fan moment?
The coolest thing to happen working in my industry?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to tell you. I'm on a $1 bill. I just found this out yesterday. Some guy had me sign a $1 bill. I go, "Oh, that's pretty cute. That's kind of cute." Somebody Adobe Photoshopped me on a $1 bill. The guy goes, No. It's a $1 bill. The U.S. Treasury makes it, and I can actually use it. And I was like, oh, man. That's the coolest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. So I took a picture of this and I sent it to all my friends, telling them, I'm so money. And those are props. Between that and my action figure, I have very little humility. I'm pretty cocky. And sometimes you can find me in my house with my action figure, just talking to it. You know, my wife comes along, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm gonna talk to the action figure. Talk to the action figure. So that's what happens when you're out of work.
You know you've made it when you've got your own action figure.
Yeah.
We've got a question over here.
Hi. In Atlantis, you're in the Air Force, flying aeroplanes. Have you actually been in a proper Air Force aeroplane up in the sky?
Wow, I didn't get that last part.
Have you actually flown in a real aircraft?
Yeah, I did. It was incredibly cool. They took me up in an F-16. The guy came to set. The Air Force has a close relationship with the show. And every now and then you see these guys with a bunch of brass walking around the set. And you don't know who they are. I mean, one guy ran NORAD, which is the North American something. He had a lot of nuclear bombs under his thing, you know. And he goes, your sideburns aren't regulation. And I said, well, we're in Hollywood, dude. You know, I was not being disrespectful, but I was like, it's Hollywood real. He goes, no, but that's not regulation, you need to cut it. I go, well, what are you gonna give me? What do I get in return? I said, I'll tell you what, you get me on an F-16, I'll cut my sideburns. He goes, all right. He just walks off. Next day, he comes back and goes, all right, you're due to fly in 2 weeks out of Nellis Air Force Base. I was like, whoa, that's cool. So I went down there, and we went through the pre-flight training. Now these things fly at like 800 miles an hour or even faster, and they're incredible machines. And they train you to do an isometric thing every time you turn. So the pilot looks like George Clooney, acts like George Clooney. This guy's cooler than anybody in Hollywood. You know, he's got his sunglasses and the whole bit. And he's like, all right, Joe, you know, we're gonna go left, and I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 left, and you'll gird. And I've got a G suit on. Whatever you do, don't eat, you know. We're traveling at some very serious speeds. We're gonna pull maybe 10 Gs. It's like, whoa, okay. I get out there, they got my name on the plane. They painted my name on the plane. It's incredibly cool. And I get in there, we're about to take off. I say, you're clear for takeoff. Boom. We hear some weird noise. Plane's broken. Great. I gotta wait 6 more hours on the tarmac in 115 degrees for them to fix it, which they don't fix it. They get another plane, they paint another name on the plane. I was like, guys, you don't have to do that. No way, they don't want to hear it. They deal with details. I had to eat, for Christ's sakes. Yeah, not eat for 12 hours. I had a sloppy Joe in the mess hall, which is all they have, by the way. And we took off, and he didn't tell me anything. He didn't say left, right. He's like, hey, Joe. I mean, I threw up all over the place. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. He's laughing. He thinks it's hilarious. Because he's like, yeah, you play an Air Force pilot on TV, buddy. And I'm like, bleh. But I did get rid of the sloppy Joe. And I was able to reclaim control of the plane. And I actually was able to fly it pretty well. It was very cool. And it was one of the coolest experiences of my life, to be honest with you. That was another one of those cool things that you get to do. And I have so much respect for those guys in the armed services. They work so hard. And they have damn good sloppy joes.
We have a question over here.
Yeah, I've got a question wrong with you, man.
And I feel bad for the guy who had to clean up the cockpit.
Oh, I've got a question right here, mate. I heard,
Oh. Who? Huh?
We've heard about lots of pranks where you're the perpetrator or the co-conspirator.
Never.
Has anyone got you back?
Has anybody got? Yes. Yes, they did. And once again, I feel constrained by the not so family-oriented material involved again. But we had, David was having a baby with his wife Jane, and David was terrified of everything, as he always is. And we're gonna have a baby. I mean, it's gonna work. I mean, I don't know what happens. What do you do? He's like trying to take these classes, Lamaze, whatever. Somehow Jason and I found a really, really dirty magazine. It's amazing they make magazines this dirty. And I wish I could tell you the name of the magazine. Anyways, we thought we would just plaster his trailer with a number of how-to shots, getting comfortable with the female anatomy, everything else. And so we put it in his trailer. Of course, he brought in some friends to the trailer not knowing. That was priceless.